You just loaded up TM Talk, the one pod to learn it all. I'm Professor Tommy.
And I'm Professor Ashley. Whether you're new to the Pokemon TCG or a seasoned trainer, we're here to help you level up your play, master the rulings, and grow your community one episode at a time.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of TM Talk. Once again, like always, I'm Professor Tommy. I'm here with my co-host, Professor Ashley. And today we're going to talk about everything about Lille Regional coming up here this weekend on the 25th and 26th of October. We're going to go into all three games like we always do, GO, VGC, and TCG, and let you know what we think is going to come out on top in these regionals. And we're also going to give you our predictions. And then also we're going to talk about what's been the big news in Pokemon recently, which is Pokemon Z-A. So we're going to talk about that and what our thoughts are and all that kind of fun stuff. So before we get into all that, though, once again, feel free to talk to us. Don't ever feel like we won't listen to you, because we will. You have a shoulder to cry on. You have an ear to talk into with us. So reach out to us at tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on all of our socials, which is Instagram, X, and YouTube at TM Talk Podcast. And you can listen to us wherever you consume your podcasts, on Spotify, Amazon, and on YouTube as well. So reach out to us. Let us know what you're excited about with his upcoming Lille Regional, and what have you been doing in Pokemon Z-A? What does your Pokemon Z-A team look like? Let us know. And before I ask Ashley how she's been doing, I want to make sure I make a correction real quick. I misspoke last week when I was talking about the Mega Absol EX deck. I said Evital had a attack called Counter. It is not Counter. It is called Clutch. Evital has Clutch. Still does 20 damage. It still keeps your opponent's Pokemon from retreating. So I was getting confused with the Maractus attack of Counter. That's how I use Evital. But just want to let you guys know, yeah, Evital has Clutch, not Counter. But enough with that. Ashley, how you been doing?
I've been doing all right. It's starting to get colder, and being around a lot of dust at my job, my voice is starting to get a little rough. Kind of hard to talk this week, but I'm hoping if I just keep drinking a lot of water, it will improve a little bit. I've also I started my journey finally on Pokemon Legends Z-A, and I'm having a blast so far. I've only played it for a few days, but so far it is a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to talk about it later on whenever I get a little bit farther in the game. So, how have you been doing, Tommy?
I've been doing pretty well. Take care of yourself, drink some water, take some vitamin C too, because it is fall. Things are starting to it's getting a little cooler outside. It's getting a little bit windier. So take care of yourself, Ashley. I can't do this without you. So I need you strong. I need your voice here. So I'm sure nobody wants to hear me babble for a whole hour by myself.
Hey, you never know. You're pretty good at this, so I don't think that they would mind listening to you for the whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll put that to our audience then. Let's see. But no, I've been doing pretty well. We've been, I think, more getting into a groove with our league going again. We kind of changed locations from everything that's been going on with our league. So just trying to get back into a groove with that. Competed in a challenge this past weekend. Didn't do so well. I played Charizard EX there. I've been playing it for a while. Like I was talking about for a couple weeks now, I thought that Charizard was going to be a great play into the Mega set and format. Jackson Ford proved it in Milwaukee, but I could not jump on the back of his success on that challenge. There's a lot of misplays on my part, so just getting back in the swing of things with Charizard. I used to play it last year before rotation, so I had the Rotom and Luminion in there, and being able to search real quick for that. So just trying to get back into it with understanding the new way it plays without those cards and things like that. So it was fun nonetheless. And we're prepping up for our own challenge at our league this weekend. Should be super fun. Mega is legal for us. We will probably see a lot of interesting decks, as we saw from last week's recap of Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte, that the meta is really wide open right now. So I would be really interested to see the decks that come out for this weekend for our challenge, because the challenge I played last weekend, we had a lot of different decks. There was even a Kingdra deck out there. There was Mega Venusaur, Raging Bolt, Terrabox, Mega Absol was out there, Grimmsnarl, Dragapult. So a lot of interesting decks to play through. So I like seeing that. I like seeing the diversity, and being able to see different decks out there. So it should be pretty fun.
I was just gonna chime in and say that I'm excited for the challenge this weekend, because both of us get to play this time,
Yeah.
and our other professor is the one who is running the challenge. So we are going to go head to head this Saturday, and we'll let you guys know next week what our placings were to see who comes out on top. So if you want to, comment and let us know who you think is gonna place higher, me or Tommy next week.
Oh man, okay, that's gonna be the poll on Spotify. So check it. If you're not listening to us on Spotify, there's gonna be a poll. Who do you think is gonna win, or who's gonna do better in the challenge? How about that? That'd be pretty cool. So Ashley always being very competitive with that. So like that. So that should be cool. But before we get too competitive and start arguing about who's going to win this challenge, let's talk real quick about something that we are both pretty excited for, which is Pokemon Legends Z-A. I don't have the game. I haven't gotten it yet. Shame on me. However, my daughter has confiscated my Switch, so I hardly get to see it. But I have been looking at a lot of the mega releases or mega leaks that are out there. So a lot of play stream videos that other people have been putting out there, and then just listening to everybody in our league and everybody in the Pokemon community just in general, just talking about Pokemon Legends Z-A, and it seems like a really awesome game. What are your thoughts on it? I know you've actually been playing it for a little bit, Ashley. I know you want to go a little bit more in depth when you get a little bit farther along in it, but what are your initial thoughts as you've been playing it?
So my thoughts is it's a phenomenal game to start out with. I really love the way that they created this game, because it's a little bit different than the normal just pick your starter, go beat all the gym badges game. If you're not really familiar with the game yet, basically you're a tourist and you come to Lumiose City, and then you get wrapped into the battle royale stuff. So basically, instead of like doing the gym badges and everything like normal games, you go from rank Z all the way up to rank A, and you have to fight your way up to there. So you have to battle all these trainers, get tickets to basically battle to rank up, and then I haven't got to where I lose that rank battle, so I don't know what happens after that yet, because I pretty much just started playing the game just a couple days ago. But so far, it's like extremely fun. The battle mechanics is so much different than normal games because you actually get to run around and attack in real time, which is actually really, really fun. However, the very first time that I tried to do that, I lost the battle. Typically at the beginning of a Pokemon game, you always fight your rival for the first one. And this one, without giving spoilers, it's not your rival, but it's somebody else. But you get a practice round to be able to battle them. And if you lose, then it just restarts, and then you just keep going until you beat them, which I thought was actually kind of cool because of the way that they introduced the new battle mechanic, and it gives people a chance to kind of get used to how you're supposed to battle before actually continuing on in the game. So I actually really liked that part. It's definitely going to have to take some getting used to, straying away from the turn-based, but it's actually so fun, and I'm excited to get past all of the tutorial stuff. So if you haven't played it, just know that it's a very, very long tutorial, but there is some story in the tutorial. So it's not super boring. It does make it fun, but it is very long before you like actually get to run just on your own. But so far, I have no complaints over the game. I'm excited to keep playing. If you're not following me personally, you probably don't know which starter I picked, but I pre-ordered the game on Pokemon Center, and I said that whichever plush that I get in the mail with it, that I was going to choose that for the starter, and my plush was Chikorita. So my trusty starter for Legends EA is Chikorita. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully we can get some other people on board to play it with me.
Yeah, for sure. I know we have a lot of people in our league right now playing it, which is pretty cool. So I hope that we can kind of maybe that builds up into our VG community. People want to start bringing that game along, and maybe get into some VG battles and things like that. When you told me there was no badges to collect, I was very disappointed. I was like, what kind of Pokemon game is this that I don't collect badges for? That's my whole reason to live is to collect gym badges and to see what they look like. So I even thought Violet like went over because he gave me other badges. I had to collect, like the Terra badges and the stuff from Arvin and things like that. So I was like, oh, cool. Like I get to collect more badges that I can put on my jacket, But no, it looks pretty cool. I think looking at the mega, like I think the megas evolutions, right, is the big thing that a lot of people are looking forward to. Trying to see a lot more new megas that are coming out. Some of the returning megas that are coming back, like of course Charizard, Mega Charizard X and Y are back in the game, and then the other megas that are out there too. One that I saw that I super love is Halucha. Mega Halucha looks super cool. I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and I always liked Halucha anyway because he's already like a little luchador eagle, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then just like looking at his Mega Evolution, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, okay, I'm sorry. So don't look him up. But if you do want to see what he looks like, if you haven't got there yet in the game, look it up. And the best way I can describe him is that he looks like Rey Mysterio Jr., the wrestler, if he's coming out for like a WrestleMania entrance or something like that. So it looks pretty cool to me. There's even Mega Chestnut. A lot of the other starters from the other regions as well are in this game. So Mega Chestnut is out there as well. Mega Greninja, Mega Delphox as well. So it looks pretty cool to see all that. So pretty neat. I will try to pick this game up, but it's going to have, I don't know when I'm going to be able to play it. But I do want to pick it up because I do think the mechanics are pretty cool. I have seen a lot of people, like you get to, like you're walking around, you get to dodge. And so it kind of opens up a lot of different strategies to the game as well, because now you don't have to have different moves for your Pokemon to kind of like, okay, if I come up against my weakness right away, I can hit it with this move to counteract. I can just kind of like spam fire moves on my Charizard and be like, okay, cool. He has all powerful fire moves. And if I fight against a water Pokemon, I can just kind of like walk around it, dodge the attacks, and just blast fire all day long if I want to, right? But I don't know how far I get against a water Pokemon doing that. But you get my point. So I think that's pretty cool.
And it's very interesting, like during the battles, like on the turn-based ones, whenever you're trying to throw in a Pokemon, you basically like that's your turn. But in these real life battles where it's literally just go and you're battling, you can switch out your Pokemon like within seconds while you're doing it. So like if your Pokemon is super duper low in health, then you can switch it out real quick and then keep attacking with a different Pokemon and then keep doing that. That's actually kind of cool.
Oh, neat. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. Definitely way different than a lot of the previous Pokemon games. And we'll just kind of have to see as it progresses and how people think if the battle system is something that they like and keep going with, or as if this is just the one-off with this game. They're going to go back to turn-based games. I think we're talking about this, and maybe we'll discuss this a little bit more as we talk about the video game preview for Lily. But my thought process is that I don't see them being able to keep going with this combat system, at least in a competitive environment. And that's why Champions is coming out. the app or game Pokemon Champions, which is going to be what we know for sure. Video game competition is going to be on at Worlds. So we just don't know exactly when they're going to start introducing that and using that system to battle now in regionals. But I would think they still have to keep it turn based to keep it more fair as they play in those regionals tournaments and things like that. So I'll be interested to see if this is something that they continue. Maybe this is a way with Champions. This is a way that Pokemon can get a little bit more creative with their video games, especially with the combat system and things like that, and make it a little bit more exciting, especially like for newer generations and things like that. Any other thoughts on Pokemon Z-A, Ashley?
One thing that I haven't got to this part where I can choose my own, but I've been seeing a lot of people post like their different outfits and their hairstyles and stuff on Legend Z-A. The customization on this game is wild. Like there are so many different outfits out there, and I really like it because you can really tailor it to you and kind of put your personality out there on a game. Like we had a little bit of this in Scarlet and Violet, but I feel like with this one, they really, really put a lot more effort into making a lot of the different outfits and stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I saw that too. There's a lot of posts from people on X and things like that sharing their different outfits and the way that they customize their characters. So I'm glad to see they are making improvements to that. I know that's a big thing that people like to do is create their favorite character. Either they looks like themselves or maybe like another just character they want to put into the Pokemon game and really like submerge themselves into the whole Pokemon experience. So it should be really cool. But tell us your thoughts on Pokemon Z-A. If you've been playing, been having fun, if you think it's going to be super awesome, if you're enjoying it, let us know. Drop us a comment, drop us a DM on our socials, write to us at our email, tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com, and give us your thoughts on the new game that just came out. All right, so are we ready to talk about Lily? Let's do some regional previewing. Ashley's giving me a head nod. All right, cool. Let's do this.
Sorry, I forgot that I had muted my mic because I was coughing. And so I said yes, and then my brain turned back on. I was like, oh, wait, I muted my mic. I gotta go back into it.
It's okay. I'm here to let the audience know what we're doing in our gestures. We can see each other, so we could do that. All right, so for Pokemon Go, for me personally, I didn't really see how anything can really change too much in Pokemon Go. We just had Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte last weekend, and then we're jumping right into Lily this weekend. So still being new to the game, at least on the competitive side, and understanding how this all kind of boils out. I did check out Dracoviz.com, DRACOVIZ.com, a great website for everything about Pokemon Go. They provide you graphics and let you know about tournament recaps. They give you all the statistics you're looking for. I would compare it to a Limitless for Pokemon Go. It seems really cool. They also have articles on there that are written by players of the game. I ran into this awesome article talking about the upcoming regionals that are happening in Europe. We're starting off with Lily here in this weekend, and then next weekend on the 1st and 2nd, it's going to be Gdansk. And so this article was about lessons from Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte and how it's going to play into the upcoming European regionals. This was by C. Leonardo77. That's his screen name or username in Pokemon Go. So if you know him, just let him know how much you like this article. But he pretty much went pretty deep into a meta-analysis of the recent regional championships in Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte. He compared the overall Pokemon usage with the successful teams that made the top 32. He found out like a couple different things, just to kind of recap. Meteor Fallen had won Milwaukee with a team featuring Firo, and Zardy won in Belo Horizonte. And Zardy actually became Brazil's most decorated player in Pokemon Go with that win in Belo Horizonte. So congratulations to Zardy on that. The overall usage, no surprise, as we've been talking for weeks now, is that we've been seeing the global staples like Credillia and Gastrodon and Galarian Corsola. But there are some like regional differences. What I mean by like area, location differences. Like Milwaukee players have been using a lot of Florges, Stunfish, and Tinkaton more, while Belo Horizonte has been kind of looking at more Azul, Maril, Sizor, and Marowak, the Kanto version. Shadow Marowak there. And then Murkrow, which is usually a popular Latin America pick, was almost absent in Belo Horizonte, but found success in Milwaukee. So pretty interesting to see kind of those locale differences in Pokemon picks, especially in the flip-flop for Murkrow to be more popular now in Milwaukee than it was in Belo Horizonte. But once again, like I believe that coming into Lille, we're going to see a lot more Credillia and Galarian Corsola. They are the defensive backbones in any region, I believe. They've showed their dominance being in a lot of the top teams coming in these past couple of regionals. And then as we look at the kind of like outliers in the top 32s of the different regionals here, Milwaukee saw a jump in Fortress usage, suggesting it was the effective offensive counter to Credillia. And then Belo Horizonte saw massive jumps in Galarian Moltres and Tinkaton, which were used as aggressive and defensive counters. Tinkaton in particular was the true meta breaker, really jumping up in meta usage, coming out of nowhere, really to be that aggressive defense counter. So what C. Leonardo kind of thought, what his predictions were, was that there's going to be an increase in Fearow usage just from Meteor Fallen and his use in the Milwaukee regionals. It's going to see that it's going to really kind of increase. We saw how good that Pokemon actually is in the meta currently. So he believes there's going to be an increase in that, which will in turn cause a rise in electric types like Charjabug and diverse ground types like Steelix and Stunfisk as counters, inevitably leading to a slight meta shift, increasing the play usage of those Pokemon. But I think if you're looking to see like, hey, well, how should I build my team of Pokemon Go? I think you can't go wrong with Credillia and Galarian Corsola still in there to be the backbone, to be the beginning of your team. And then kind of look for like regional differences, especially in Europe, and try to see like what kind of counters you can play to take advantage of that, right? So you have to kind of continue to build around the proven staples while dedicating a slot to a regional tech pick to exploit those vulnerabilities. So really kind of look at maybe those stalling counters like Tinkaton, or maybe even looking at Fortress if we want to see those come back into play. But it's going to be interesting to see what regional picks are going to be out there in Europe, starting with Lille, to see what the Pokemon Go players there decide to play. If we're going to see more of the same with Fortress, Tinkaton, maybe Galarian Moltres, or like a ground type like Steelix or that Stunfisk, or if they're going to pick something completely different. So I'm pretty excited to see that come on with that. So that's all I have for Pokemon Go right now for the upcoming regionals in Lille. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm ready to watch this regional to see how these shake out and see what comes out on this meta shift. Ashley, you have any thoughts on Pokemon Go?
So I think that it was kind of cool that they kind of predicted the future meta, where they think that there's going to be an increase of Fearow usage, which will be super interesting to see, because it's kind of like we talked about in TCG, where you kind of try to predict the meta, and then some people will predict the meta and then try to predict it after that to really choose what you think is going to be the best Pokemon. So it's kind of interesting to see that in Go as well.
Yeah, for sure. And especially with like seeing everybody being so focused on Credillia and Galarian Corsola. I think that's like the top two Pokemon that are out there right now in the game. And then we saw in Milwaukee that the Fortress was actually being played a lot more to try to counter those two Pokemon. So it's pretty interesting. And then like Tinkaton getting its uptick in play because of those same two Pokemon. So I really think if you could try to build a team with those two, but also have a tech Pokemon in there that can counter those two, you are doing pretty well in building your team to kind of go on and try to get success going forward. So interested to see that. But let's keep going, right? So what do you have for us for the video game, Ashley?
All right. So as far as video game goes, we're still in regulation age. And last week I had mentioned where I believe that we were going to switch regulations in November, but I was wrong. I was about a month off. So we are actually going to switch regulations December 1st. So until December 1st, we're still going to be seeing a lot of the same Pokemon. And I feel like the next, this weekend, is definitely going to be interesting to see what teams people choose because there's a lot of different factors going on. So one of the biggest things is a lot of people are playing Z-A because it released. And so I feel like maybe because people have been putting a lot of time in that, they may not put a lot more time into their teams, and they may just pick a team that they know that they can play and that they're good with. Or I can also see the opposite where because they've been playing ZA, that they can be influenced to try something a little bit different. And we may see a little bit of innovation come from people playing a different game and trying to incorporate that into the Scarlet Violet meta. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I still think that we're going to see a lot of the same Pokemon. Like last week, we were talking about how Goldango, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Blood Moon, Ursulina, the Alolan Ninetales, those are some of the really strong Pokemon right now. And I feel like we're probably still going to see a lot of them as well. So it's, I feel like I can't really 100% be confident on what I think is going to be played because there's different factors going into this. But I do think that we're still going to see a lot of the same Pokemon.
Yeah, I could see that, especially since we're not changing regulations. And we're so close from the Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte regionals just happening. If there's not, I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? I think if anything, we may see some counters, trying to see some counters of those Pokemon, especially in those top six, like you're mentioning Goldango, Blood Moon, Incineroar. I think though, like by now, it looks like to me anyway, from what I've been following with video game, is that like kind of that team is like kind of teched at the best that it can be. I don't know if it's kind of like TCG, like where Guardy has been tweaked so much that it's like there's a 60 to play. Maybe you change one or two cards, but you're not changing like the entire deck, right? I kind of see that with video game right now as we're getting close to the end of this regulation. I think everything's been kind of tried and tested, and it looks like right now we're kind of dialed into like what are the best teams right now. So unless there's gonna be some crazy anti-meta team that comes out of nowhere to just start flaying all these meta teams that are there, I can imagine us seeing more of the same, which is fine. I mean, I think these have still given us a lot of exciting matchups in the video game. People are still cheering like crazy for it, still having a good time with it. So I think it's still good for the meta as they go forward with VGC.
Yep, I agree. I don't feel like there's really a whole lot to change for it, but just the fact that there's people playing ZA and the Scarlet Violet ladder is different regulation from what we're in. People have different teams going from all different directions. And so I think that we're pretty much just going to see the same teams because people like to play what they know is good. And maybe they haven't had a lot of time to prep a new team because they're playing ZA. So I feel like people are just going to come out with the teams that are dear to them and that they like to play.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be exciting to see how that plays out in Lille up here. All right. Let's move on to TCG, right? I think with it's funny because with Go and VG, it sounds like I think we're kind of in a good part of the meta for them where they kind of know what they're going to TCG still up in the air though because of the new set that released, Mega Evolutions. Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte being the very first regionals when that set was legal. So we kind of saw a lot of tried and true decks that were out there. And then we saw one new deck that came out with the Pokemon from Mega Evolutions, frontline by Tord. Played the Mega Absol EX box all the way up to top 8 placement in Milwaukee. And then Gabriel Fernandez played it in Belo Horizonte, got second place out there. So, and there was plenty of top tier players playing that deck in both regionals because they talked to Tord or were in the know about it and saw how great it was. So it kind of opens up that can of worms, right? Like, well, what else can we see coming in Lille? Who else is somebody else going to pioneer a deck that we've never seen before? Or did Tord just already crack this set before it even became legal? And is Mega Absol Box the new BDIF? So it leaves us a lot of questions to ask. And I think I'll start with, even though with Mega Absol Box being so dominant in both the regionals, we did see a comeback of Charizard EX winning Milwaukee, just running amok through the top 8 because of all the Guardy that was out there. So do you think, I'll point that question to you, Ashley, and maybe to our listeners as well. Do you think Charizard EX cemented itself back into the meta, or was this kind of like a one-of because of the new set and the explosion of Guardy as of late? Do you see Charizard still being as popular going into Lille as it was in Milwaukee?
So personally, I do think that we're going to see more Charizard being played locally and at regionals, because it fell off for a while, but now with all these different types of decks, and especially with the Mega Absol box coming out, those new Mega Pokemon, they take 3 prizes opposed to 2. And if you can just have them like knock out one Charizard, you're going to be able to take those down super quick, I feel like. So I think it is a good regional for Charizard to start coming back. And I do think that we're going to start seeing it a lot more often. Because it is a comeback deck. So you can set up a little bit slower. But since Charizard gets stronger the more prizes that your opponent takes, I do see that it kind of coming back into the meta as one of the top decks.
Yeah, for sure. Because Charizard can definitely take out an Mega Absol, with like a Dusclops hit on it, and then attach Max Belt, and then you're knocking out that Absol and taking prizes. Same thing with Mega Genghis-Khan as well. If you take one, if you just give them one prize with that Dusclops play, put it onto a Genghis-Khan or the Absol, slap the Max Belt on Charizard, you're hitting for knockout with that damage on it. So pretty interesting to see how it plays into that. However, it does play a card that that Charizard has always had a problem with, and that is Cornerstone and being walled out, which is surprising. I shouldn't say surprising, but it's cool to see the techs that have come out for that for Charizard, because we do have the Chi-Yu, which is more of a reactive counter to that Cornerstone, right? If you see Cornerstone out there, okay, great. You let it come out, and then you kind of put down the Chi-Yu, you evolve a Charizard, you use your Infernal Rain to power up your Chi-Yu, move it up to the front, and now it's doing 50 damage. And if there was a knockout last turn, it does 90 more damage. So you're doing 140. You can attach a Max Belt to it, hit the Cornerstone with a Dusclops, and then you're knocking out Cornerstone with it. Or if you just hit the Dusknoir, and you just do if you're able to hit for the 140, you're still knocking it out as well. But there's also another tech out there, which is the Baby Ho-Oh from Surging Sparks. It does 100 damage for 2 fires and 1 colorless. It does 100 damage if you have a Terra on your bench. It does an extra 100 more damage. So we saw a lot of Charizard players playing that one instead of the Chi-Yu because of the guaranteed 200. by evolving into Charizard and just powering up that Ho-Oh. Now it does take one more energy, so it kind of leaves your Charizard kind of bare, naked in the wind. But hey, Charizard does play jet energies now because of Tatsugiri out there and to help with getting retreat locked. So if you power up 2, put 1 on your Charizard, attach a jet, bring up the Ho-Oh, now you have all the energies you need to hit for 200. Attach the max belt to it. You don't need to blow up a Dusclops to knock it out. Or you still do the Dusclops play, knock it out, all that kind of fun stuff. So a lot of different ways you can play Charizard to kind of come around that. But I do think, it's kind of like how we were talking about with the video game and Go, where you kind of have to predict the meta and think where you're going to go, right? So if there's going to be more Charizard, does that mean that Dragapult Dusknoir starts making a comeback again? Because now the field's more favored for that deck to play. And that's kind of one of the other questions we have, right? Like, does Dragapult Dusknoir make a comeback, or are we starting to see the decline of everybody's favorite dragon? What do you think, Ashley? I melted your brain. I know. I'm sorry.
That's gonna be a hard one to decide, because I feel like people really like the Dragapult Dusknoir combo, and if they think that there's gonna be a lot of Charizard played, I feel like we could see definitely an uptick in the Dragapult matchup. But then again, people could just start just playing the straight Pult and just hoping that they can take down the Charizard. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to predict it sometimes.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of different factors that can go into it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, you have to get that your crystal ball and kind of just see and kind of think about what is going to happen. If you see an uptick in this, should I play this instead? But if I play Dragapult Dusknoir instead, how do I do inside Mega Absol Box? How do I do with the other matchups? Which Dragapult Dusknoir is always a solid play. It does well into a lot of matchups that are out there that are popular in the meta. But and some could argue that Dragapult Dusknoir and Guardy were like the two in contention for BDIF at one point, especially going into Worlds and going into the Black and White set, which was in September as well, right? As we started playing, started having more regionals. But now with Mega Evolutions, it kind of seems like that has shifted. And now maybe it's not a clear, decisive winner on who's the BDIF. Or have we seen it already with this Mega Absol Box deck? What are your thoughts? Do you think Mega Absol is the new BDIF? Or are we too early?
I feel like we're still kind of a little bit early. I feel like it did really well at the last regionals because, one, it was new and people don't know how to play against it. But I think once people start kind of playing a little bit more into it, they can start figuring out, one, how to approach the matchup, which Pokemon should I go after, which one are the support Pokemon, which one are the attackers, and put a lot more thought into how to approach this matchup to where maybe it doesn't become the BDIF, but it also could be the BDIF if people cannot figure out how to counter it too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely the deck is good. Are there ways to beat it and counter it? Of course there are. You have two big Pokemon in Mega Absol EX and Mega Kangaskhan EX, but they both have weaknesses. Mega Kangaskhan has a weakness to fighting. Mega Absol has the weakness to grass, which we have seen has hurt other dark Pokemon like Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Almost Mega Grim. We'll see if we get Mega Grimmsnarl in this set some way down the road. But for right now, we're talking about Marnie's Grimmsnarl, and Charizard EX. Those two dark Pokemon have ran into plenty of grass Pokemon that are out there in the field right now, with Teal Mask Ogerpon, of course, being out there. And always, as long as you have two energies attached, it powers up to 3. It can hit for 3. It can hit for 330 easily, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we'll see. We'll see if it. So they're first knocking out Mega Absol as well. But also, we have a lot of new grass Pokemon in this Mega Evolution set. We have Mega Venusaur EX, which it's one of the favorite decks to play out there on PTCG Live. So I like to see if maybe we'll make a in real life appearance at this Lille's Regional. Maybe think it can take down some dark type Pokemon out there. But regardless of Mega Venusaur, you still have the Meganium that's out there, which doubles grass energies attached to any of your Pokemon. So definitely a strong way to power up Teal Mask Ogerpon with that card, make it hit even for more damage, being able to hit those really high numbers. So it's a scary Pokemon to me. And also, too, in that fighting types, we have all these fighting support cards that came out for fighting types, like Fighting Gong. We've gotten the Soul Rock Lunatone combo, which is helping you draw supporters or draw cards based off the Lunar Cycle ability from Lunatone. And then we have Mega Lucario EX out there too, which can definitely make a big play. It's a big, bulky Pokemon, hits for a lot. So a lot of questions up in the air about what's going to come out there. But I think I agree with Ashley. It's too early to tell what's the BDIF right now, what's the best deck in format. Mega Absol is definitely making its case with its run in Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte. But I think as we see the rest of the regionals that play out this month with Lille and then Gdansk, and we have another on in November 1st as well, which is Brisbane. So once we see Gdansk, Brisbane, I think we're going to have a clearer picture about what's going on with this meta shift. Any other decks you see that could make a comeback or make a move up into the meta as we're talking about these new mega Pokemon that are out there with this set?
I think that we're going to see, like, now that people have played it, the Ceruledge deck a little bit more, it was the top percentage deck used in day one of Milwaukee. And then it kind of fell off a little bit. But I think now that people are having a little bit more time to practice with it, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more consistent results with it. It's just like the Mega Absol box. You got some new cards to try and make a deck, and you just kind of have to take a little bit of time to perfect it. And I think the Ceruledge deck is good, and I think there could be some tweaks that we could put into it, but I think it is still a really strong deck. And once people start playing it a little bit more, they will definitely figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely we still have, Goldango out there. We have Raging Bolt still making some noise. And all those other, like the Joltik box combos out there as well. So just kind of seeing what their answers are to these other staples like Mega Absol, Box, Charizard, Dragapult, Dusknoir, Guardy. I think we're still at the point in regionals where if you're deciding what deck to play, Guardy and Dragapult, Dusknoir are like the measuring sticks, right? How is your matchup into those two decks? If it's not good, don't play it, and then move on to the next one, right? If you have a 50% shot or greater, then now you're talking, okay, now let me look at the other matchups. What should I be avoiding at this regional and stuff like that? So still a lot of questions up in the air. Let us know what you guys think. We gave you our kind of thought analysis and answers on these couple of questions. What are your thoughts on the upcoming TCG format and how it's going to all shake out here in Lille? Reach out to us on X, at or on Instagram and YouTube at TM Talk Podcast, or email us tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what your thoughts are. All right, Ashley, here is the moment that we've all been waiting for, right? We're going to start doing our predictions for TCG. So once again, we're going to pick an archetype and we're going to pick an impact card. The new little caveat is it has to be something we haven't picked yet. So since the start of the season, I believe you picked Guardy and then you picked Ceruledge, right? And then I picked Raging Bolt and then I picked Charizard. So those are off the table for us. So we have to pick an archetype and an impact card. The impact card, once again, I think I picked Lille's, you picked Lille's last week. and I picked the Soul Rock Lunatone combo. So, what other cards do we see make an impact, and what archetype do we think is going to do really well here in Lily's? And since I won
That
last
you
week,
did.
I'll be a gracious winner and I'll let you pick first.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Um. All right. So I think for the archetype, I'm gonna have to. I think this time I'm gonna pick Dragapult. You know, I played the deck for a while before I started playing Gardevoir, and then I kind of stopped playing it for a while, but I think it's still a pretty strong deck, and it definitely has um I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. The potential. Sorry, guys. Sometimes my brain just shuts off. It definitely has the potential to be one of the top decks. So I'm gonna pick Dragapult, and then for the impact card, I think I'm gonna pick the Fighting Gong. I really
Ooh,
like that card.
okay.
It'll be a little bit different because it's only in certain decks, but I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I think that's a safe pick. So I'll tell you why I think it's a safe pick. But first, we have to clarify. You said Dragapult. So are you saying straight Dragapult? Are you saying Dragapult Dusknoir? Or am I going to be gracious and let you just say if you said Dragapult, it's just going to be any kind of variant?
I'll pick a certain variant. I think I'll do the Dragapult Dusknoir because that's the one that I
Yeah.
played.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So Dragapult Dusknoir, very great choice. Still a solid deck out there into this meta. But we have seen it go down in this format recently in Milwaukee and Belo Horizonte. But I definitely think it's still a viable deck to play. And I do like your Fighting Gong pick because, as we talked about, Soul Rock and Lunatone, that combo cards is being played in Goldango, Cerulege, and a lot of other fighting type decks, and just decks that can support it are trying to play it. And it's always paired up with Fighting Gong because you're trying to eke out either that extra fighting energy to discard, or that could be part of your combo, right? If you have Fighting Gong and Nest Ball, you have both those Pokemon right there in your hand because you can find that fighting Pokemon off that Fighting Gong as well. So good choices. Good picks. You know,
Thank you.
Ashley's always coming in with the spicy ones, so that's good. I like that. I'm stalling for time because archetypes. I'm trying to think here.
All right, well, while Tommy is thinking, how about you guys pick an archetype what you think will do well, and then let us know also what your impact card would be. So if you were in our position and doing this, what would you choose?
Okay, good. And my Jeopardy time is up. But I'm going to say for my archetype choice, I'm going to go with Marnie's Grimmsnarl. I think Marnie's Grimmsnarl, if you tech in a couple cards, you can still hang with the big boys here. It's still a very, very good deck, even without any like changing of the deck that we know of right now. Being able to spread that damage with Monkey Dory and its attack doing an extra 30 damage to the bench. I still think Shaman is underplayed. And so Grimmsnarl can definitely take advantage of that. And it could always turn itself into a one prize deck deck when you're playing. So that's very, very crucial in this meta because if you can win the prize trade, of course you're going to win the match, right? So dropping down to one prize, not giving those two prizes up to your opponent, and being able to still pick off Pokemon with your Monkey Dories, setting up your board state. You can even do some nice control plays with Yveltal or Maractus, whichever one you choose. So I think Grimmsnarl is going to do pretty good in Lily's coming up, especially if anybody picks up what I've noticed is that Europe loves them Guardies. You know, like they just love Guardies so much. This is just the perfect time for Grimothy Snarl to come through and just destroy all these Guardies. So looking forward to it. And my impact card. You know, it's hard because there's so many of them. There's so many good cards out there.
There really is.
So many good cards out there, but I think what a card I've noticed that has been making its way into a lot of decks, and I think is really going to make an impact for a lot of decks, is Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri is my
Okay,
impact
that's a
card
good one.
because Charizard's playing it now. I've seen Grimmsnarl decks that are playing it as well. There's other decks as well that are trying to slide in that little sushi fish to see if it can attract some customers because we have all these lovely supporters that are out there. We have Lily's Determination, we have Arvin, we have Iono, we have Boss's Orders. Finding that last piece of the combo that you need, and all you need to do is just maybe put a little sushi out there and attract another supporter to come and help you out and make that game-winning combo get off. So I think Tatsugiri is going to be my impact card for this regionals.
I like those. Those are some pretty good picks.
Thank you.
And I feel like since you have played Grimmsnarl, but you also have been playing Charizard with the Tatsugiri, I can see why you picked both of those cards.
I didn't like that fish at first. I didn't like that little dragon sushi at first. I was like, why is everybody playing this thing? And then I finally put it, I played it in Charizard, and I was like, okay, I see this. It has come into play for me so many times, going second, and I have a abysmal starting hand, but I have that Tatsugiri, I have a Jet Energy, I attach Jet, and somehow this Tatsugiri can always find itself in Arvin, or even cooler, I think, is finding the Lily's Determination, drawing 8, and I get the Double Buddy Poffin, the Techno Machine Evo,
oh my gosh,
the Evo, and I'm like, oh, I don't even need Arvin. Who needs this guy? Lily's Determination does everything Arvin does.
We were playing against each other yesterday at League, and he was playing this deck, and I kid you not, he literally did that like every single game. The first one, he was down to like one card and had the Lily's Determination. I was like, how the heck did you do this? He was always able to make it work because of the sushi fish.
Yes. So I believe in that little guy now. He has made me from a hater to a believer. So we'll see how it goes this weekend in Lily, but hopefully you find some success with that little sushi fish as well if you're going to be playing in Lily's this weekend. So that's our predictions. How do you feel that we did with our predictions, Ashley?
I think that we did pretty good so far. Definitely excited to see who's going to win next week, because right now, as it stands, we are both tied 1-1. So next week will be the tiebreaker to see who is the champion professor.
Yes, of these first 3 regional weekends that we have.
Yes.
we still have plenty more to go. This is a marathon, not a race, right? But yes, me and Ashley, if you've not realized, we are very competitive in a friendly way.
Oh yeah.
But we like to see, and definitely talking about that upcoming schedule. We do have Lily coming up this October 25th and 26th. And then on November 1st and 2nd, we have back-to-back regionals again with Brisbane and Gdansk. And then we get a break in November, and then November 14th and 16th. Very excited for the Las Vegas regional happening there. So tons of Pokemon regionals and events coming forward for you all the way through the end of November. Mm-hmm. So, because then after Vegas, we have Buenos Aires, then we have LAIC, a Latin America International Championship. So that's going to be really interesting to watch because that's going to be when I believe the new Mega Evolution set, Phantasmal Flames, is going to be legal as well. I'll double check myself, and I'll have to correct myself next week. I will do so, but I believe that's when it's legal, is during that weekend. And then we have Stuttgart as well, coming up at the end of November. And then currently we have nothing scheduled for December whatsoever. So that's going to be a whole month without any regionals going on around the globe. And then we go back after the holidays. January 16th through the 18th is Toronto. So plenty of Pokemon exciting events happening for you here as we draw down the end of the year.
And then speaking of regionals too, we also got 3 new regionals announced last week, just the other day.
Oh yeah.
So if you have not been able to see them, the new ones are Houston, and it's going to be March 20th to the 22nd. Orlando, which is going to be April 3rd to the 5th. And then Melbourne is going to be May 23rd and 24th. So there's a few more regionals to throw on your schedule. And I know me and Tommy in the group have already been talking about one of them that we are going to attend. So I'm excited because it's always fun to go as a group to a regional because you have your friends there to support you and hype you back up.
Yeah, for sure. And we're looking forward to that one. And I'm actually going to apply to be a professor for that regional as well. So hopefully when I see the sign up, I'll sign up here and let you know that I was accepted. I tried for Las Vegas to be a professor there. I did not make the cut. That's okay. I'm going to dust myself off and try again. But I am going to play in Vegas. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise because you'll see me holding my trophy up. At
All
the
of our
end
listeners, we got to hype up Tommy for the regional.
Yeah. So let me know what I should play in Vegas. Maybe we'll find out or have a better picture after this Lille regional. But looking forward to it. So it's going to be a fun time. But yeah, it should be pretty awesome. I think we did pretty good with our predictions. I'm pretty excited for this weekend for Lilies. I think it's going to be an awesome regional all around. Get a little bit more insight into the TCG anyway for the changes that have shaken up this meta. And looking forward to see how VG and Go adjusts if anybody makes any changes to try to topple these steadfast Pokemon that have been the backbones of plenty of people's teams. So should be exciting. So Ashley, any closing thoughts?
I actually do have a closing thoughts. So every single episode, we always tell you guys, hey, reach out to us, comment, ask us stuff. And we have had a couple comments on our YouTube videos recently. So I did want to shout them out.
Oh, awesome.
So one of them was Al Joker 2013. They said, I'm the type that likes to be beaten to a pulp and learn how I can mess with my opponent next time. All love in the game. Hey, man, sometimes that's exactly how you have to learn. Is just losing, but not giving up and then just keep going. So sometimes that's how it happens. And then we had another one. They commented on a few videos, but I'll just read one of them. Was Griffin 292. And they commented on our first one and said, great pilot episode. You two have great back and forth chemistry. Looking forward to future episodes. So I just wanted to take a moment and kind of shout out those people. Thank you for commenting and giving us some positive thoughts and interactions with our podcast. Because sometimes when you do stuff like this, it's kind of hard to keep going if you think that nobody's listening, but we're doing this for fun because we genuinely just love Pokemon. But it's super exciting to hear from everybody else and actually get to hear their thoughts because we can't actually talk to you guys in person like this. So just for you guys commenting, I appreciate it. And I know Tommy does as well.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for those comments on there. It makes me feel like every time I say it, it's not for, I'm not saying it in vain. You guys actually do take action for that. So I appreciate that. And thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Keep sending those comments. Let us know how you feel. Because yes, just like Al Joker said, correct?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Al Joker, just like you said, right? Sometimes you do get beaten to a pulp. Sometimes you are the pulp. Sometimes you are the beater, my friend. So hang in there and you will definitely get what you want out of Pokemon, which is just to have fun and enjoy it. Hopefully you found your community out there that you can commiserate with and build better decks together. So hope you guys get to do that. I have a final thought as well. Sure, I do want to say it right now, for those who celebrate, I want to say happy Halloween, because this is the last time we'll talk to you before Halloween. So happy Halloween, have fun. And if you love Halloween and you love Pokemon, check out your local leagues, see who's hosting a Pokeween event, and get out there and have some fun. Usually it has like costume contest. There's gonna be like some kind of fun tournament, and definitely a lot of fun times for everybody of all ages to be had. So check out events.pokemon.com. Look for those Pokeween specific events happening at your local leagues, and go and meet some fun people and have some fun on Halloween dressing up as your favorite Pokemon or trainer. So Hope you guys enjoy that. We are going to have one as well at our league, so looking forward to it. It's always a good time. We do a spooky deck format where we do not let any Pokemon EXs or any Pokemon in the rule box into the format, and you have to play with at least 3 different spooky Pokemon, whatever that means to you. So if for me, I always look at it as if I was in a dark alley and I ran into this Pokemon, would I give it a high five, or would I run the other way? And that's how I kind of think about it. So there's plenty of Pokemon out there that definitely meet that spooky type. So hopefully you guys have fun with that, and enjoy Pokeween at your local league. So without further ado, thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You just used TM Talk. I hope it was super effective for you. Whether you're building a deck or building a league, remember, you've got this and we've got your back.
If today's episode boosted your stats, share it with your party. And until next time, keep training, keep teaching, and keep passing that knowledge on.